There are rivalries in Hollywood that everybody knows about. And then there are the ones that nobody was supposed to find out about. The ones buried beneath handshakes, forced smiles, and 30 years of carefully maintained silence. Johnny Carson ruled late-night television like an emperor. His approval could launch a career overnight. His disapproval could quietly suffocate one forever. For 3 decades, the man was untouchable. A legend so deeply woven into American culture that criticizing him felt almost unpatriotic. But there was one name, one man, someone the whole country adored, someone who had walked the same stages, shared the same spotlights, and built a legacy that rivaled Carson's own. And honestly, that may have been exactly the problem. To understand what was really happening beneath the surface, you have to understand something about Carson that his charm always managed to hide. He was not a man who shared power gracefully. His inner circle was small. His loyalty expectations were absolute. And his ego, though rarely visible on camera, was enormous. Bob Hope represented something Carson could never fully neutralize. Hope had been famous longer, had entertained troops across 3 wars, had a global reputation that existed completely outside of Carson's world and completely beyond his influence. In many ways, Hope didn't need Carson's approval. And according to insiders, Carson knew it. That's where the tension lived. Not in shouting matches or public confrontations, but in the quiet, deliberate coldness that those close to the production remember clearly. The way certain names were avoided in conversation. The way certain invitations were never extended. It was later reported that the relationship between the 2 men had soured significantly behind the scenes, built on years of professional jealousy, competing legacies, and the unspoken rivalry of 2 men who both believed they deserved to be the last word in American entertainment. Many believe Carson resented how effortlessly Hope seemed to occupy cultural space that Carson felt belonged to him. Hope was beloved by presidents, generals, and grandmothers alike. He was everywhere. And for a man like Carson, who controlled his world so precisely, that kind of uncontrollable legacy in someone else was genuinely unsettling. The truth is, we may never know the full depth of what passed between them privately. But the silence itself tells a story. In Hollywood, silence is never accidental. It is always chosen. What this story really reveals is something uncomfortable about fame, that even the greatest entertainers are still human, still territorial, still capable of pettiness dressed up as principle. 2 legends, 1 era, and somewhere between the applause and the legacy, a rivalry that neither man ever truly resolved. Some stories don't end. They just go quiet.